these kids see, even on TV, the role models today in our society, in our country today. Leo, last time I was saying this to you that we parade almost everybody on media. Yeah. We don't know their source of wealth. Today we are granting them, they are giving motivational speakers. I started my restaurant with 3 CDs, all sort of nonsense in the name of motivational speaking. And these youth are listening to them. We've established that the older generation, the last one said something to you, that if a generation is not living up to expectation, look at the older generation who trained them. And Mr. Hall-Baidoo made mention of our parliament, where for the first time there are fisticuffs, people sitting on women, and all sorts of things in our national parliament. We've talked also about a certain reneging of responsibility by parents. We've talked about how there's some laxity in the disciplinary process of the GES to check this, and also some teachers of the view that if I can't cane, then I won't discipline you. So these are the issues you've highlighted. I want to go around in about 5 minutes to take solutions in 1 minute and 30 seconds from each of our guests. Let me start with Teacher Kwesi. How can we turn the corner when it comes to student behavior on our campuses? 1 minute, 30 seconds, Teacher Kwesi.
We must look critically at a very positive teacher-student relationship in the first place. Because I want to believe that in all cases, teachers will first take students through orientation whenever they come to their schools. And then in this orientation, will expose the students to the do's and don'ts in the schools. What will happen, and that there will be a break in this relationship, so that the learner will no more listen to the teacher. We must look at that. A positive teacher-student relationship needs to be developed. And we must also look at the parent associations.
I hear now PTA is more optional. At first, where it was a compulsory and integral, they are integral stakeholders. So you should look at the PTAs again, right?
Yeah, I said the parents associations, they need to be educated on how to educate their wards. Because sometimes of the parents are not aware of the behaviors of their wards in school. They see their wards as angels, how they are with them in the houses. And when they come to school, these students become dancers. So sometimes something will happen, you bring in the parents and you, are you sure something about my son? No, he's not like that, or she's not like that. When we take him or her through whatever investigations that we have done, sometimes their words will come to them to just go that, it's true, it actually happened. Like, let's also look at that.
Okay.
Help very much.
Okay, I like the suggestions from Teacher Akwesi. He talks about a positive teacher-student relationship and also the parent association and awareness, because some parents are even surprised when they are told about the behavior. I'm familiar with a story where there's an accident on campus and the father doesn't know that his son drives. The father doesn't know, but he's involved in an accident where he's driving and the car is for him. Let's go to Mr. Hall-Baidoo. Mr. Hall-Baidoo, 1 minute, 30 seconds. What is the way forward? How can we turn the corner when it comes to student behavior on our campus and make them better agents of society and contribute to our national development?
Teachers, and because I'm a teacher, I want to belabor this particular point. We have a really big role to play. We have to show more commitment. We also have to be friends to the young men that we teach. You see, when we get them closer to us, they share their concerns, they share their worries with us, and it goes a long way to help them to put up very good behavior. But we also have to put our ears on the ground. We don't have to let issues happen before we start talking about them. Teachers are to also assist the school management. And we as school managers, we also have to get our teachers actively involved in the day-to-day running of the schools. You see, when you are a school manager and you try to give the impression that you can do everything alone, the teachers also stand aloof. Finally, Eugene, there is a big role to be played by the SRC in our respective schools. You know, they are the student leaders. And if they show proactiveness, and if we get them encouraged and involved in the day-to-day running of the school, they will always be in a position to give us hints about some of these ruling students so that we can deal with them before the situation gets out of hand.
Okay, so according to Mr. Hall-Baidoo, we need to involve teachers more in school management. Teachers must also show more commitment. We must also involve the various SRCs in the management of schools so that they can inform management before even things escalate to a level. Teacher Kwesi and Mr. Hall-Baidoo, thank you so much for joining us. We take leave of you now. God bless you. This conversation continue. Yeah, we'll do a round table one of these days to talk about it again. Now, let me come back to the studio and speak to the criminologist and lecturer, Dr. Johnson Pokuare. Doc,
yes,
what's the way forward?
Well, I think based on the points that I raised earlier on, the parents and the family, we have a lot to do. Okay, we must be able to raise our kids in such a way that they can become functioning members of the society. Though society is changing, people have issues with poverty and all those things. I mean, some of us, if you should tell you about our background, Leo, you will be very surprised. But we are here because our parents have to instill in us a certain sense of value. Okay, value systems must be well integrated in the kids. Okay, and what are values? They are a sense of right and wrong. Remember that if you put this value system in the kids, no matter where they go, they can be tested against those values and they will still prevail. Because even the Bible tells us that you train up the child the way he should go. When he grows, he will not depart from it. So for me, parents are key here. We need to give these kids their sense of values, a very good sense of values, their sense of right and wrong. And now in the schools, as parents, and I think Mr. Baidoo raised that issue, you know, kids, based on what I've known as even a university lecturer, I get to realize that most of these students have double personalities. Okay, because of the identity issue I talk about. Yes, they have double personalities. The way they behave at home and the way they behave on campus. So that's why sometimes issues will come. The parents will be very surprised. But yes, because of the fact that many of them don't really give their kids that sense of identity I'm talking about. So when the kids find themselves in environments that are very different from what they are used to, other things take over, and especially their friends, and then they give them that identity. We become more like their master status. So for me, it is very important that parents, we do more. I mean, the secondary school, I will expect parents that, look, periodically we have to go to the schools.
Some don't even visit kids.
Visit them, check up on them, ask about me. Even as a parent, my kid who is in, I think kindergarten or so, when I go to the class, always I ask, so say, madam, how is my daughter doing? I mean, in terms of her behavior.
Invested in the training of their kids.
Yes, even how is she interacting with the kids in the class? You know, it's very key.
This parent thing you're talking about, that's someone told me that the parents today, some of them even need parenting.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, definitely. Yes, and I agree with that.
You know, my kids' school, I go there a lot. There are some people, their parents have never come for their terminal report.
Exactly.
They don't go for the terminal report.
And you see, sometimes
when you ask them, what does your mother do? She sells rice. What does your mother do? You know, very menial jobs.
Exactly.
So they don't have time for
but you see, these are kids. They are supposed to be functioning members of society in future.
You know, the boys in that video I sent.
Yeah.
I asked one of them, their colleague was with me when the video was shared to me. So I asked them, that was when the names came in.
Yeah.
For no, we say on Tisao, he's just doing it for
good. So he's trying to fit in.
He's trying to fit in, and it's
clouds.
true. Yeah, clouds.
Yes.
Listeners, you can join us now.